As Siddhartha meditated, Mara was terrified and angry. Imagine the ultimate spiritual showdown, alone. Determined seeker confronting the very embodiment of evil, temptation, and inner darkness. What happens when the human spirit pushes beyond all limits? Facing down not just external adversaries, but the deepest, most insidious whispers of its own mind? Can true peace ever be found amidst such a cosmic battle? Today, we journey into the most pivotal and intensely dramatic moment in the life of Siddhartha Gautama, the night he faced his ultimate adversary. Not with swords or armies, but with the unyielding power of his awakened consciousness. This is the story of Mara, the Lord of Illusion, and his desperate attempts to prevent Siddhartha from becoming the Buddha. The Awakened One. It's a profound narrative that reveals the true nature of the obstacles that bind us, and the radical, transformative power of letting go. Prepare to witness the defining battle for enlightenment, a victory that changed the course of human spirituality forever. Mara's domain, the shadow of the mind and the threat of awakening. As Siddhartha sat in profound meditation beneath the Bodhi tree, utterly resolute in his vow not to rise until he achieved enlightenment, his intense spiritual energy resonated throughout all realms. This powerful vibration disturbed the very foundation of Mara's dominion. Mara, in Buddhist cosmology, is not merely an external demon or a literal lord of hell. He is the name given to the evil force that relentlessly disturbs our minds. Mara is the personification of all our greed, lobha, hatred, dosa, and ignorance, moha, the three poisons, as well as jealousy, doubt, aversion, and all the other insidious mental defilements that bring unhappiness, grief, and bind us inextricably to the cycle of samsara, birth, death, and rebirth. His realm is the human mind entangled in suffering. Mara, filled with existential terror and furious anger, summoned his vast army of sons and daughters, the myriad manifestations of human defilements and temptations. "Look, all of you," Mara roared, his voice echoing with desperate urgency. Siddhartha is seated in meditation. If he is successful and discovers the way to end all suffering, what will happen to us? Don't you understand that we should lose all our power? We cannot harm people if he teaches them the truth. We must disturb his meditation, or else we will be doomed. Mara understood that if beings truly awakened to the Dhamma, his power to keep them trapped in desire and suffering would vanish. His very existence depended on the perpetuation of ignorance and attachment. And so, the grand assault began. Buddhist insight. Mara is often viewed as both an external deity in early Buddhist cosmology and, more profoundly, as a psychological force within. His army represents the mental defilements, kleshas, that arise when one attempts to transcend the conditioned mind. The threat of losing power if Siddhartha succeeds highlights that ignorance and craving maintain their hold only when challenged by prajna, wisdom. This confrontation is a critical test of Siddhartha's samadhi, right concentration, and viriya, right effort. It illustrates that the path to enlightenment is not always peaceful. It often involves directly confronting the deepest, most uncomfortable aspects of one's own mind. The assault, fear, desire, and the unwavering mind. Mara and his formidable forces launched their assault with cunning and ferocity. They first tried to sow fear. They created fierce storms, conjured bolts of lightning, and unleashed terrifying, monstrous shapes all around Siddhartha, hoping to shake his resolve and drive him from his seat. But beneath the protective branches of the Bodhi tree, everything remained perfectly calm. Siddhartha was protected by the immense, unshakable force of his profound meditation, by his complete detachment. Not a single fold of his robe was disturbed. Not a single hair moved. He seemed utterly undisturbed. When fear failed, Mara's soldiers murmured, "He seems undisturbed. Let us shoot poisonous arrows of hate at him." They hurled blazing rocks, sharp weapons, and noxious substances. But a miracle unfolded. These weapons, designed to inflict harm, changed when they came near the tree, falling not as rocks but as beautiful flowers, transforming into fragrant blossoms. The light Siddhartha diffused acted as an impenetrable shield, protecting him. Swords were shivered, battle axes were dented by it, and whenever a weapon fell to the ground, it too at once changed into a flower. Recognizing that violence could not penetrate Siddhartha's profound peace, Mara then resorted to the seductive power of desire. He called his daughters personifications of sensual craving and worldly allure. "My dears," he commanded, his voice now a desperate whisper. "Turn yourselves into beautiful and alluring women. Dance in front of him. Use your charms and disturb his meditation. A heavy responsibility rests on your shoulders. Complete the task and return victorious." But even Mara's most seductive daughters, with their enchanting dances and alluring beauty, could not perturb Siddhartha's unwavering concentration. His meditation was as firm as a mighty stone, absolutely unshakable. Mara was defeated miserably in all these external attempts. But he had one last, desperate plan, a final, insidious assault on Siddhartha's mind. There is no point in believing anybody else, he seethed, consumed by his own despair. I myself will complete the task. I will go directly for his mind, for his very core. Buddhist insight. Mara's successive assaults represent the various hindrances, nivarana, that arise in meditation and on the spiritual path. Sensual desire, kamachanda. Ill will, vyapada. Sloth and torpor, thina mitta. Restlessness and remorse, uddhacca kukuka. In doubt, visakicha. Siddhartha's unwavering calm in the face of these attacks demonstrates profound upekkha, equanimity, and the power of a mind free from attachment. The transformation of weapons into flowers is symbolic of the power of metta, loving kindness, and karuna, compassion, to transmute negative energy. His resistance to Mara's daughters highlights the triumph over sensual craving. These battles are not merely external, they are deeply internal, representing the purification of the mind from its own defilements. The ultimate challenge. Doubt and the earth witness. Mara, appearing as a wise old man, directly confronted Siddhartha, not with force or seduction, but with the insidious poison of doubt. So you are the great Prince Siddhartha. Mara's voice was now deceptively calm, laced with condescension. You know very well that many holy people have failed to find the truth. But you think you will succeed? How foolish you are. Don't you know that it takes a lot of preparation to find the truth you are looking for? You have just wasted your life. And now you sit here thinking that wisdom will just come to you? How foolish you are. Prince, why do you toil like this in the sun and rain? Go back to your palace and enjoy your life with your beautiful wife and son. Go, Siddhartha, go, listen to me, get rid of this meditation. Or at least show me one witness who will swear that you are worthy of succeeding where all the others have failed. These words, designed to sow seeds of profound doubt, visakicha, and self-condemnation, struck at the very core of a seeker's motivation. They were the ultimate test. But these words did not deter Siddhartha. He remained utterly silent, his mind perfectly still. Then, in a moment of ultimate triumph over ego and doubt, he lifted his right hand from his lap, reached forward, and gently touched the earth. This simple, yet profoundly powerful gesture, the Bhumisparsha Mudra, the earth-touching gesture, was his silent reply. It meant that the earth itself was Siddhartha's witness. It signified that for countless lifetimes, his previous existences as a bodhisattva, he had appeared on this earth in various forms, practicing immense generosity, dana, and boundless patience, kshanti, acting lovingly and meditating on the truth, accumulating the immense merit, punya, and wisdom, prajna, that culminated in this very moment. His worthiness was not dependent on Mara's approval, but on the accumulated wholesome karma of eons. Mara was now truly and utterly defeated. Recognizing his absolute and undeniable defeat, his power over Siddhartha, and by extension, over all who follow the path, shattered, he vanished, his voice fading into a mere echo. Siddhartha was now all alone, free from all external and internal disturbances, his mind utterly still, perfectly clear. Buddhist insight. This final confrontation targets doubt, visakicha, the last major hindrance. Siddhartha's response with the Bhumisparsha Mudra is profoundly symbolic. It roots his enlightenment not in abstract concepts or external validation, but in the accumulated positive karma of his countless previous lives. Jataka tales are often cited here, which now ripened into perfect wisdom. The earth as witness signifies the grounding and reality of his enlightenment. It's not a fantasy but a profound, embodied, universal transformation. This moment marks the final triumph over the ego and its attachments, leading to absolute clarity. The dawn of enlightenment. the fullness of being and the extinguishment of desire. Siddhartha sat there, utterly still, utterly surrendered, having released all notions of striving and all attachment to outcome. As he sat, the full moon rose majestically in the night sky, bathing the entire landscape in its soft, luminous glow. In that perfect stillness, in that state of absolute non-striving, Siddhartha attained to his fullest potential. He achieved complete and perfect enlightenment. He sat there, not in a state of mere mental concentration, but in a profound state of ecstasy and boundless blissfulness, a state that transcended all previous experiences, a state of ultimate liberation. He realized, with undeniable certainty, that desire, tanha, is the fundamental root cause for all suffering. He understood that the insatiable craving for what we don't have, and the relentless clinging to what we do have, are the fires that fuel the cycle of dukkha. And, profoundly, he realized that once the heart is completely free of desire and hate, it would naturally be filled with boundless love, profound peace, and true happiness. Once Siddhartha gained this perfect, liberating understanding, his face began to glow brightly, emanating an otherworldly radiance. He had become fully enlightened. He was now the Buddha, the enlightened one, the awakened one, the one who knows. He had reached his ultimate goal. With a calm and peaceful smile, he arose from his meditation. When he opened his eyes, he saw the world filled with peace and happiness, a perfect reflection of his own inner state, seeing reality as it truly is, unclouded by illusion. Buddhist insight. This ultimate attainment is nirvana, nibbana, the cessation of craving, tanha, and suffering, dukkha, leading to liberation from the cycle of samsara. The state of ecstasy and blissfulness refers to the profound joy, piti, and happiness, sukha, that accompany deep meditative states and, ultimately, enlightenment. It's a state of being where all mental defilements, kleshas, greed, hatred, and ignorance are fully extinguished. Siddhartha's journey from relentless seeking to ultimate surrender under the Bodhi tree is the blueprint for right mindfulness, samma sati, and right concentration, samma samadhi, culminating in right view, samma ditthi, and right intention, samma sankappa, thus completing the Noble Eightfold Path. This marks the culmination of his human potential and the birth of the Buddha as a teacher for the world. The Dhamma cycle, turning the wheel of truth and building the path. I am filled with happiness. The newly awakened Buddha mused. My mind is free from all darkness and pain. But it was so difficult for me to reach the end of suffering and become a Buddha. I wonder if there is anyone who can understand the truths I have discovered. Perhaps it is better for me to live the rest of my life in the forest, all alone, and enjoy the happiness of being a Buddha myself. At this brief moment of profound introspection and hesitation, divine beings, devas, recognizing the immense need of suffering humanity, appeared and pleaded with the Buddha, "Please do not forget us. We are the suffering beings of the world. Please teach us." The Buddha's boundless compassion, karuna, overcame his initial reluctance to teach such a profound and subtle truth. "Of course," he said, his voice resonating with deep resolve, "I shall teach. However, they will have to help themselves. They have to be a light unto themselves." Initial students in the first sermon, turning the wheel of Dhamma. The Buddha first sought out his former teachers, Alara Kalama and Udaka Ramapada, but with his awakened vision, he saw they had already passed away. So, he turned to the 5 ascetics who had accompanied him during his extreme period. He found them in the deer park near Benares. There, the Buddha delivered his first sermon, known as Turning the Wheel of the Dhamma, Dharmachakra Pravartana Sutta. He began by teaching the middle path as the right way to put an end to all sufferings. He then expounded the 4 noble truths. The noble truth of suffering, dukkha, everyone suffers. And hard things happen. It's part of life. The noble truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya, suffering arises from tanha, craving, attachment. Our desire for more, and our attachment to what we have, fuels discontent. The noble truth of the end of suffering, nirodha, we can overcome suffering by ceasing craving. This leads to nirvana, perfect peace. Desires, blown out. The noble truth of the path to the end of suffering, magga. The way to overcome suffering is by following the Noble Eightfold Path. This means continually improving oneself through kindness, honesty, compassion, and mindful attention to thoughts, meditation. The 5 ascetics were deeply moved and became his first disciples, forming the Sangha, the community of monks. Buddhist insight. The Buddha's initial hesitation to teach, and his ultimate decision driven by karuna, is pivotal. The first sermon establishes the core framework of Buddhist philosophy and practice, setting out the middle way and the 4 noble truths as the direct path to liberation. The formation of the Sangha is crucial, establishing the 3 jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, as refuge and a living tradition. The Buddha's teachings in action, compassion, impermanence, and wisdom applied. The Buddha taught countless people across diverse backgrounds, adapting his profound message to their individual understanding. He frequently used simple stories and parables to convey complex truths, making his teachings accessible and relatable to all. Let's explore his teachings in action. 1. The parable of the mustard seed, learning impermanence through profound loss. A deeply grieving woman, Kisa Gautami, approached the Buddha, pleading for him to bring her dead son back to life. The Buddha agreed, but with a condition. She must bring mustard seeds from a house where no one had ever died. Kisa searched tirelessly, but every house shared stories of loss. She returned empty-handed but with a new understanding. Death must come to everyone. She realized. The Buddha affirmed, if you learn the truth of impermanence, you can live and die in happiness. Lesson. This parable teaches anicca, impermanence, and the universality of dukkha. Grief is intensified by clinging to permanence. By accepting impermanence, we reduce suffering, cultivate equanimity, upekkha, and find peace through acceptance. 2. The unaccepted gift, handling anger with wisdom and non-reactivity. An angry man insulted the Buddha. The Buddha listened calmly, then asked, if someone offers you a gift and you decline, to whom does it belong? The man replied, to the giver. The Buddha stated, if you offer me your anger and I do not accept it, then the anger falls back on you. You are the only one who suffers. The man was stunned, realized his error, and sought the path of love. Lesson. This is a masterclass in dealing with anger, dosa, and negativity. We choose our response. By not reacting with anger or taking insults personally, we prevent the second arrow of suffering. This cultivates metta, loving-kindness, and upekkha, equanimity. 3. Testing the teachings. The importance of personal experience and wise inquiry. A follower praised the Buddha as the greatest teacher. The Buddha asked if he knew all past, present, or future teachers. When the follower admitted no, the Buddha advised, it is wrong to say I am the greatest. You should test the teaching yourself to see if they are true or not. Just like testing gold for purity. If you find them helpful, then practice them. Also, do not criticize the teachings of others. Lesson. This emphasizes right view, samadhi, and critical inquiry. Don't accept teachings blindly. Test them through personal experience. This promotes experiential spirituality, discourages dogmatism, and encourages respect for diverse paths and wisdom, prajna, through direct realization. Conclusion. The radiance of the Buddha's Dhamma, your path to peace. The Buddha's journey is a profound blueprint for human transformation. It illustrates that suffering, dukkha, is an internal creation, born from our attachment, tanha, and resistance to impermanence, anicca. The Buddha's timeless teachings, from the foundational 4 noble truths to the practical and liberating Noble Eightfold Path, offer a clear, compassionate, and universally applicable methodology to navigate existence and discover profound, unshakable liberation. Key learnings for your modern life. Embrace the middle way, Majjhima Patipada. Seek balance in all actions, thoughts, and emotions. Avoid extremes. Cultivate mindfulness, sati, be profoundly present. Observe thoughts without entanglement. Practice non-attachment, upekkha, love deeply but without clinging rigidly. Accepting impermanence reduces suffering. Develop compassion, karuna, and loving kindness, metta. Extend profound kindness to yourself and all others. Choose understanding over judgment. Focus your attention, right effort, samadhi. Direct your mental energy towards wholesome growth. External negativity becomes mere background noise. The Buddha's story reminds us that the ultimate source of peace, happiness, and liberation lies not in external circumstances, but within the awakened mind itself. Just like Siddhartha, we all possess the innate potential to transcend our suffering by diligently understanding reality and by cultivating wisdom, boundless compassion, and unwavering mindfulness. Your life is your very own Buddha story. Will you allow yourself to be tossed by the wheel of life? Or will you, like the Buddha, find your serene center, detached from its relentless turning, experiencing true, liberating freedom, right here, right now? The choice is always in your grasp. Thank you for watching, and may you always carry the profound peace and illuminating wisdom of these stories within your heart. Join our growing community by liking this video and subscribing to Buddha Story, where ancient wisdom beautifully meets modern mindfulness. What aspect of the Buddha's journey or these teachings resonates most deeply with your personal experience? Share your reflections and insights in the comments below. Until our next encounter, may your path be filled with profound peace, deep understanding, and the radiant light of your own awakening.